Hey everyone, Dr. Frunke here with a really special knife consult for you on the Grimsmo Knives Rask. This is a really special knife because a couple of weeks ago I was able to make a video or a series of videos about the Grimsmo Norseman. The Grimsmo Norseman being the first knife produced by the two brothers, John and Eric Grimsmo, out of Canada, with their CNC skill and their unique vision. This knife is honestly not really one of my favorites because I think it looks a little bit funny, but what they've done is created a knife that redefined the custom knife market, where knives made on a CNC machine with very high precision and a very unique vision do actually qualify as custom knives. And in so doing, they've created a totally new market of CNC-created custom knives. This knife was their first. It was definitely a showcase knife, a bit weird, a bit odd, a bit attention-grabbing, but it certainly did that, and the knife community fell in love with it. Now, they have produced a smaller version called the Rask. This is not a brand new knife. The Rask has been around for a little while, but this is the first time I've been able to get my hands on one. In typical Grimsmo fashion, they ship it in this impeccable Pelican case that comes with included tools, some tin-weight nano oil, some stickers, and a birth certificate down in here. I can show you, it says Rask number 301 with a stonewashed RWL 34 blade with dragon scales in silver, a Moir Damascus clip with bronze hardware, and it was born in 2017. So this knife is not super old, but it's been around for a little while. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of the case. Really, really nicely done Pelican cases with these milled foam pieces, and of course in Frunke green. I absolutely love it. But let's go ahead and take a look at this awesome knife. This again is the Grimsmo Rask. I'm going to have to be careful not to show my face, as I did a couple of times in the comparison video. This high polish on here makes it a little bit more difficult. So let's go ahead and get some vital signs on this guy right here. Up front, we are looking at a 3.5-inch blade with about 8.1 inches of overall length. The handle area is coming in at exactly 4.5 inches, and the grip area is 4 inches. If you include that forward finger choil-ish area, you could say it's 4.5 inches right there. Much like the Norseman, this knife comes in at a very, very slim 0.39 inches in overall width, so a very slim knife. And the blade stock is 125 thousandths. So it's a nice thin blade stock, a nice slicey overall appearance, and a very thin overall appearance in the pocket. One of the more interesting and awesome numbers on this is the weight on this knife. Because of some significant internal milling, it's coming in at 3.17 ounces on my scale. So that's super, super impressive. I'm going to bring out another couple of knives for a size comparison real quick. Here is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and a Spyderco Para 3 right here. As you can see, the Rask is about the same size as the Paramilitary 2 in overall size. So you're looking at that sort of medium-large, everyday carry knife size right there. I'll bring out another couple of knives that people may be familiar with when we're working in this size category right here. Here is a Koenig Arius. Here is a ZT 0462, I think is what this one is. I'm getting lost in all those numbers right here. And then last but not least, I'm going to bring out his big brother, the Norseman. So you can see the Norseman is significantly bigger. The Rask has really come in and sort of captured a much more EDC-friendly size and sort of scenario there. So let's go ahead and break this knife down anatomically and see what we're working with. Up front is this beautifully done blade of RWL 34. The camera is going to have a hell of a time trying to focus on this essentially mirror stone washed blade. It is going to capture my face if I get too close to it, but this is a really, really nicely done blade. This is one of my favorite finishes on a blade. You're going to see my entire place if I move this around too much. One of my absolute favorite knives of all time is the Peter Rizzenti Nirvana here, and this one is finished in a similar mirror stonewash with sort of a plain titanium handle. I really enjoy these user finishes. This is such a nice finish to me because you can use it, it's going to hide wear, and it just glides through material because of how polished it is. It is a flat grind, not a full flat grind, but it's a very nice flat grind. It comes down to a very thin area behind the edge right there. I suppose I can pull out the calipers, get you an exact number. Let's see here. I really don't want to scrape this guy up. Right behind the edge, you're looking at 190 thousandths, so very, very slicey. That's thinner than a lot of PM2s come behind the edge. Moving back here to the pivot, this guy is running on ball bearings on the inside. This is actually captured ceramic ball bearings in a nylon or Teflon. I guess it's a nylon washer, which is their solution to the ball bearing there. And it's interesting to me, the more I learn about knives, the more I understand about engineering knives and how things like the ball to cage interface is a factor when you're looking at friction and the opening and closing mechanism of a knife. So ceramics on nylon may have a very, very low sort of drag coefficient or friction coefficient there as they pass by each other in this setup. So what it does result in is that characteristic Grimsmo smooth action. Super fast, very, very easy to close. If you give this thing a little bit more lube, it's even faster than this. It's a very, very nice action. The pivot itself has this Grimsmo Norseman sort of logo on there. I think that's really cool. Something that they changed from the actual Norseman model. The Norseman was more of a polygon kind of a shape, with a little oblong, and this one is a perfect circle on the Rask, so that's a little bit different right there. But it is nice. It is fixed in place, and it does not freely spin. It uses a T9 Torx bit, which is actually included in the kit here, as you can see, and it's very easy to disassemble this knife. I'll do a full-on knife surgery disassembly for you guys on this. Moving back to these handles, these are beautifully done titanium scales. Their milling abilities are really excellent. I like this. They call this the dragon scale type. You can see that there's an initial milling pattern to contour the handles, and then there's the secondary dragon scale pattern going on. Something that I find really, really amazing is as this dragon scale pattern continues onto the back, it actually matches up perfectly on the clip. I'm going to see if I can show you. If you look at the lines, if you follow the lines here, I'm going to bring out a little pointer so that maybe we can show you here. If you follow the lines of the dragon scale, it actually continues up onto the clip at each one of these points, and it is perfectly aligned with the pattern on the scale. I really, really enjoy that. I think it's very cool, and again, they've included the Norseman dude right there. This one has bronzed hardwares and standoffs. You know, if I had built this one myself, I might have opted for blue or purple, probably blue. But this is likely a knife that was done by the sort of maker's choice system that they have going on right now. It seems to be the only way to get these knives. They're not really taking custom orders anymore. They're not opening their books. They're really just doing a sort of system where you send them an email and eventually your name is going to get drawn to buy a knife that they built to their own sort of likings and specifications. Add to that a little bit of a price hike recently. That's a bit of a political thing in the knife community right now, where the Grimsmo brothers sort of artificially increased the prices of their knives from about $500 at a base price to $925 or $975. So a little bit something there that some people were unhappy about. The knives are worth that much money. They're trending on the secondary market for significantly more. I've seen simple Rasks go for above $2,000 during some of the peak of this bubble right now. They're trending around 1.2 to maybe 1.5, depending on where you're looking on the secondary. But the price is being artificially sort of increased by the manufacturer based on secondary prices is a little bit disheartening, and I would also like to see them be more widely available. These are great knives. I would love to be able to get one, but they are very hard to come by right now. In any case, I am actually a big fan of this knife. After having this for a couple of weeks and getting to play with it, getting to see what it's like, I really, really enjoy this. This is everything that I was hoping I'd see from the Grimsmo brothers. They are brilliant when it comes to machining and milling. I didn't even include that the inside of this is extensively milled out. which makes it very, very light. I didn't show you that. And so I'm really happy to see that they adapted their techniques to an EDC size knife. I love this knife. I may have to go out and try to find one of these. I may try to convince my buddy Josh, who owns this, to sell this one to me because this is my favorite. Well, click like and subscribe, guys, and always take